Greetings hobbyists, this is Artansavul, and this is Sky, and this is Mini Sky, and this is the Range 2 from Revopoint that made this all possible, and it is awesome. It has the classic 3 that come from Revopoint, that's the Mini, the Pop 3 and now the Range 2, replacing the original Range, and I think you'll agree, even if we just talk in terms of looks, it's a big upgrade. And if we talk in terms of what features it comes with, it's a massive upgrade. So what's the point in the Range 2 model? Well, it's there for scanning larger objects like Sky here. If we take the Pop 3, you can scan larger objects with it, but with a recommended range of only 150 to 400 millimeters compared to the Range 2's 400 to 1300 millimeters, it means that you're going to get a much smaller scan size with something like the Pop 3 and even smaller for the Mini, whereas with the Range 2, that longer distance gives a much bigger scan size, meaning that you're going to cover more of the object in one go, allowing it to capture 86 by 138 centimeters in each of its individual frame captures. And this doesn't just mean that you're going to be able to scan it faster because you're going to have less scans to make. It also means that as you scan your object, especially something with large flat areas, even though it's got fur like Sky here, the scanner's much less likely to lose tracking, and you can see just what a good job that it's doing on Sky here, as at any one point it is keeping track of more features because it's able to look at a larger area. But we'll come back to that in a second. Let's have a quick look at what you actually get in the box, and there's some exciting things here straight away. So we've still got the awesome case that Revopoint have been doing recently, and it doesn't come with that useless head that they ship with everything to practice scanning. In its place, you've got the vastly more valuable mobile handle, which is actually a battery so that when you use it with the mobile phone holder, your phone isn't going to run out of charge powering the thing. You also get a tripod that works as a handle as well. It's got these really nice extending legs, which means that they're going to be really stable considering that this thing is a bit bigger. And it's got a ball joint on the top, giving you much more options when you're moving it around. And then you've got the scanner itself, which is really solidly built. And as I said earlier, this larger case shows a lot of upgraded features over the original Range model. The first of which is these new LED lights, which strobe with each frame capture, giving you much better colour quality in your scans if that's something that interests you. And then we come to the back where you've got a single port for your USB-C cable, and you also get these 3 buttons, which in past models have felt relatively pointless, but now they serve a very important purpose. And that's because of this important message. Yes, you can now connect the scanner to your computer or your phone by Wi-Fi. And this isn't just the crap version of this where you connect it to a Wi-Fi network. The scanner itself has its own Wi-Fi network, which you can connect to through your computer. It's got the same code as the beginning of the barcode on the scanner, so if you're working in something like a school or another setting where you're going to have multiple of these, you can pick the right one. And it means you have no problem connecting to this because you're not reliant on another Wi-Fi network. And this means when it comes time to scan your objects, you don't even need to connect a phone to the scanner. Forgive the ironing board as a platform here, I'm not quite up to Mr. Beast levels of production value, but the buttons mean you can start your scan without actually going near your computer. You can also, with the plus and minus, change the exposure, which is really convenient, especially because you can stop your scan partway through when you're realizing you're not getting something like the dark black of the scarf. Change the exposure settings and do another bit of scanning, pause it, and then change the exposure setting back again. And the software will deal with this perfectly, and you haven't had to go anywhere near your computer. You're just using it as a larger screen that you can see more conveniently when you're holding the scanner down at an angle you wouldn't be able to see your phone. And it means you're not going to use all of your phone's storage trying to capture what can be quite large files. This is honestly the best of both worlds, even beating out the Creality Ferret, which I was really hyped about that it had Wi-Fi, but doesn't have these buttons on it. And then all of this is backed up with the RevoScan 5 software, which is really easy to use and intuitive. More importantly than that, it deals with a lot of the problems you might find with 3D scanning by itself, or makes it very easy for you to solve them. For example, at this point in the scan, I've paused the scan and I'm just having a look through the mesh itself for any problems, and I've found a couple on the top of the ear which are going to be creating gaps in the mesh. So all I can do now is just walk back to the model, press the start button on a place that's recognisable, and because of that large scan area we mentioned earlier, it really quickly picks up where I'm scanning, allowing me to go to the top of the head and scan those missing parts. Other aspects are taken care of really easily as well. For example, you can see here that I've got a bit of the ironing board, and there are other parts of scans where I might have grazed something else, like my elbow or something as I was going around. But the software easily detects things that aren't part of the mesh, and then you can just delete them out. You've also got the option of doing this manually as well. Same things with holes. It will detect all the holes and you can pick how you fill them, either with a perfectly planar flat surface, if you're scanning some sort of hard surface object, or something curved if that's going to be better for it. For example, some of those really inner folds of that scarf and where it's black are quite difficult to pick up. We've also got a hole at the bottom where it was sitting on the ironing board. And if this was an object where you need to scan the whole thing, because of how quickly it detects different parts, you could easily just flip this over, start scanning again, and it will detect where it is and then fill in those holes. If you are interested in 3D printing, a quick check in 3D Builder is always worth a go, and then it's just into Lychee for supports and then slicing. Anyway, I think a look at the print really shows what this scanner is capable of doing, and there's always something really fun about being able to scan something this large and make a smaller version of it that can be printed, or used in something like a computer game. I think it's also important to mention that if you are looking to scan a full person, not just their face or head, this is a 3D scanner that you want to be using. It's literally designed for that sort of size. Also in the scanner settings when you start, there is an option for body. I'm not sure exactly what that does, but anecdotally, it does give a better result when scanning full bodies of people. As you can see from the very appreciated efforts of Mrs. Vool, this honestly is as easy to use as I've made out for someone that's pretty new to 3D scanning. Her experience is literally having done one scan of my face before, and she's handling this no problem. I will also mention that this is being filmed just after Christmas, so I'm going to try and take the claim that the guts because of that. Finally, from the videos of this being used, I hope it goes without saying, but you can see the level of detail that this is picking up. Every single crease and fold on these trousers, which were very creased, has come out brilliantly. So I've been trying to find something negative about this scanner to try and highlight because, well, it's a review and it feels like it needs it, and I'm finding myself at a little bit of a loss. I guess I could comment that I don't like the way that it connects to the handle. I don't prefer a screw, I prefer something that slots in, but that's a pretty minor gripe. Maybe the fact that we've got something that works perfectly with Wi-Fi, and yet they give you a really long cable, which I guess is a little bit annoying. I mean, I just replaced it with a shorter one that I had around the house, but it'd be nice if there was a short USB to mini USB-C cable in the pack. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get in terms of complaints about this scanner, and that really does say a lot, because normally I can find something that could be better. If you do decide you're interested in the Revopoint Range 2, there is a link in the description and a discount code which will get you 12% off, so that's a pretty tasty saving if that's tempted you. As always, if you found the video useful, please do hit that like button, and if you've got any questions, please do feel free to ask in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer them. Have a great day, guys.